Hi, and welcome to this tutorial. I am glad you are here. Today we want to share with you some important tips to help you to improve the overall quality of your image when you are self-recording or when you are preparing to go live on social media. Number one, the lighting. And I think the lighting is one of the most important elements here, because we may have a nice setup, a nice background, but if our lighting is poor, then the overall quality of our video is going to look bad. We can try to improve our lighting by sitting close to a window. Yes, we can try putting some regular bulbs if we don't have more expensive lighting, but we can try some regular bulbs and try to have illumination in our room, so this will help us to improve the quality in our videos, as well to remove what is called noise in the video. Noise is not the noise that you will hear some sound, but noise in video or in photography is when you see the grainy in your video. That's what we call as noise. So to avoid that or to remove it, all what you have to do is just add light. When you add light, you will see that your picture quality is going to look better. Number two, the background. At this point, let's say that you found the best room in the house with the best light. But now we have another problem. If you see here at the back, there is a messy room. And we definitely don't want to show this to our audience because it will cause a lot of distractions. So in order to avoid this, what we can do is position ourselves against a solid wall or a solid background. So in the case that you don't have a background, but you have a wall there that is clean, then you can position yourself against the one. Yes, and try to avoid to have in that wall any kind of picture frames, to have a clock or something that may cause distraction to the audience. Yes, another thing that you can do is to try to invest in a little piece of fabric in the case that you don't have a clean wall there, you don't have a space, but you can just invest in a piece of fabric, a white piece of fabric, and you are going to put some cords on it, so in a way that you can tie it. And let's just do an example here that you tie that somewhere, and if you put it now, you will realize that you will be covering all what you have behind, and you will have a nice solid and clean background. Also remember, as I mentioned to you, you try to position yourself at least 1 meter from that background, and you will have a smooth background and good looking image to show to your audience. So let's move to the next one. Now we are going to talk about another important element that we need to pay attention to when we are live streaming or we are joining an online meeting, and this is the sound. Yes, many of these conference applications will allow you to test the audio before you join the conference. In the case that you are doing live streaming, one advice I can give you is that you test the audio before actually you press the go live button. How you can do this? There are many ways to test the audio. One is that you go on the settings for the app and you test your audio to see how your levels are. The second one, in the case that you are going live in one of these social media, is that you, instead sharing directly your program, you put it private first, and then you start your streaming in the private mode. You can record just for 1 minute, and then after you stop it. Then you go now to that streaming that you just did and listen to it. Pay attention if you are correctly, if everything is going well. Once you have checked that everything is okay, then now you can set up another one with the same settings that you have, and then now you can press the go live button. Let's move to the next item. Well, at this point we have checked our lighting, our background and also the sound. Now it's time for us to learn how to self-position on the camera so that we have a perfect frame for our viewers, so that when our audience is looking at us, they can have a good image from us. So this is what we are going to do, and I need you to pay attention, special attention to these tips, how we can correctly position ourselves. Many of the applications for streaming or for online conferencing, they allow us to see our screen there, so we see at all time our camera, how we are sending the image that we are sending to the public. So if we keep looking at that image, at that camera, then we are going to see if we are too close, if we are too far. And one tip here is, what is the correct framing for us that doesn't look too far or doesn't look too close, right? So the advice I'm going to give you right now is, please, the first thing, check here your position. You have your chest, and right below your chest is where you are going to be showing. You are not going to be showing below there, right? And you are not going to show above. If you are really close, like for example showing only to this part, then your head is going to be too close to the screen, and this is not very pleasant for the viewers. So position first here that you are showing your chest. Now the next step is that probably you are going to be showing your chest, but you realize that you are very low. So the next step is to check how far are you from the top of the screen. And for this is one tip. You are going to get your hand, and you are going to put your hand right on top of your head without changing your position. You are going to be sitting straight, and you put your hand, and you're going to look in your camera or look on the screen, your computer, on your cell phone, and you are going to check that these 4 fingers are right touching here on the top of the screen. If you can do this by putting your hand and you can see still those 4 fingers, it means that you are correctly positioned now on the screen. 4 fingers on top, and here at the bottom that you are showing your chest. In that way, you are okay. Now, the next one is to position yourself in the middle. Don't be in one side, don't be in the next side, but try to remain in the middle. And this is also important because sometimes we can put our position right before we actually go live. But then when we go live, we forget about this, and people tend to go too close to the camera. They come very, very close to the camera when we are going to look at the screen, or people go too far. So one advice I will give you on this regard is try to keep, if you had notes to be taking, try not to keep it in the same device that you are using to use your camera. For example, if you are using your laptop, try to have your documents in a tablet or in your phone, whatever you need to access or to display. But don't have it in the computer, because then you tend to forget. You go really close in the computer to be able to read something, and then what the viewers are seeing is right your nose, right your mouth, and that's not really what we want to show in this case. So just remember those tips. If you are using your webcam in the laptop, then try to use your phone to keep your files, to keep your notes, and in this way you remain always in that position. So not being more, let's move to the next step. We have now mastered the technical part for us to look good on camera, but now we need to go into another point, and this is how we prepare the program that we are going to be presenting. And this is really important because we need to prepare so that we can have a smooth program running without any interruption. That's how it comes that we need to prepare a script. The script is something that we prepare as a guide. It not necessarily has to be that we are going to write word by word what we are going to say, but we put it as a guide, item by item, what we are going to be doing, and then in this way we can follow and go have a smooth transition from item to item. Another important topic I want to bring on this part is when you are bringing guests into your program, your live program, or your webinar, call it in this way. If you are doing a webinar, if you are doing a live show on social media, it's important if you are bringing a guest, then you have a script so that they know when they are going to participate, you know when each item is coming as well, and then in this way there are no interruptions. And talking about bringing a guest into the show, this is really necessary for you to do before you actually bring that guest into your show or into your program. You need to, if let's say that you are going to start your program at 2 o'clock, it's better that probably from 12 or 1 o'clock you check with them, you do a test and make sure that their audio is okay, their microphone is okay, their background is okay, and also the clothes that they are wearing is fine and is appropriate for that moment, what you want to show to your viewers. So you do the check, all the technical check, just as you have done for yourself, and then in this way you avoid that when you are live in the program, you are hearing things like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you okay? I cannot hear you. To avoid those things, because these are not things that you want to be saying during a live program. Okay, so addressing the part of the script, that you have it ready, having your participants ready as well, having checked all the technical part before you start your show, trying to avoid unnecessary words like can you hear me and all these things. Then I think you are ready to go live and to bring the best of you to your audience. So if you understood everything, I am happy that we were able to explain and to help you with this one, and see you next time in another tutorial. So bye bye.